Welcome to the Dad and Daughter Download, presented by the Causeway family of dealerships in Manahawkin. I am the dad, Kevin Williams.
And I am the daughter, Alex Williams. And we're a boomer dad and millennial daughter talking pop culture, sports, and life from me in Manhattan and dad at the Jersey Shore.
And today we'll bounce around on a couple of different subjects. Of course, we are presented by the Causeway family of dealerships on Route 72 in Manahawkin, home of Ford Lincoln, Hyundai, Nissan, and Honda. Me, my wife Jane, and son Brandon are all driving vehicles from Causeway. Alex was, but as we disclosed last week, when she moved into her new apartment in New York City and found out it would cost her $600 a month for a parking spot, she gave up her car. But we are excited to endorse Causeway because they not only sell and service great cars, SUVs, and trucks, but they are committed to the community through their Causeway Cares Foundation. They truly are Ocean County's hometown dealer, and we're proud to have them as our presenting sponsor. How's that? Okay.
That was good. That was
Yeah,
great.
thank you. All right, so we don't delve heavy into sports, but we're going to start with what has been a riveting, and I do mean riveting,
Same.
NFL playoffs to this point that I think has really captured the imagination of the public. I think it's brought in fans who were not necessarily big fans. I'm going to speak for you and let you elaborate on it in a few minutes. But your mother, my wife Jane, and I, she watched the games with me this weekend from beginning to end, something she would never do. I'll be honest with you. She was so into the Bears-Rams game Sunday night and just stayed till the very end of it. And, it's just been incredible. I mean, there were a couple of bad games, as always, but we've had overtime after overtime
Do you
and
remember like back-to-back playoff games like this in a single season?
nothing like this. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. And of course, you tend to forget things, and somebody might bring it up and say, in 1979, this has been just incredible, really
I
incredible.
I
And
agree.
I think the ratings, Alex, have borne that out. Now,
Yeah.
you and I are both disappointed. Um, we would root for the Giants under most circumstances. And maybe we'll talk about the Giants in a second with their new coach. But we would root for the Giants, and of course they're not in it this year. And we both sort of jumped on the Buffalo Bills bandwagon. And I'm going to confess, I've been a little bit of a quiet Bills fan for years because I happen to really like Josh Allen, who
I
you now really like.
I honestly feel like the past few years I've jumped on the Bills bandwagon in the offseason because they have a great story. I will say their fan base are some of the most loyal fans in sports. Think about their home games. There's like feet of snow on the ground and they're bundled up and they are there supporting their team. Like their seat could be covered in snow, but they're still there and in the stadium. And I don't know. I think they're fun. I think they're a really fun team. And I just love Josh Allen. I've seen a lot of other sides of him on social media in terms of his give back in the charities that he takes a part in. And he just seems like a really like all American good guy.
No, I agree with you. The Bills Mafia, as they're called, their fan base, are off the charts crazy. I mean, they really are. And I root for the Bills for the simple reason. My argument always used to be with Yankee fans. Why I didn't like Yankee fans is I said, you guys think it's your birthright to win the World Series every year.
Right.
Most fans don't have that. Like, I'm okay, so we're both Mets fans, all right? I've had two Mets World Series in my lifetime. In my entire lifetime. Two, right? Two, all right?
Yep.
I was a Baltimore Colts fan, as you know, back in the day. I got one, all right? I got one of those. I'm a New York Knicks fan. There's been two in my lifetime. A New York Rangers fan, one in my lifetime. I
It's
so
crazy.
right? Well, the Buffalo Bills fans have sort of been like that. Like, unless you're 100 years old, if you're a Bills fan from 60 and under, you have really not seen a championship. They won something in the AFL, but they've been to the 4 Super Bowls in a row. They lost like they're jilted. And my
I know.
feeling is this: I root for the Bills for simple this: their fans deserve their moment.
I agree.
That's it. Like
And honestly, I would like debate going. I've never been to Buffalo. It's never really been on my list, but like that Super Bowl parade would be the craziest thing you've ever seen. Like the city. Oh my, I can't even imagine.
I say if there's real justice in the world, one of these days we're going to get a Buffalo Detroit Super Bowl, right? Like that, one of
Yeah.
those cities should get to celebrate a championship. I always remember when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup in 1994, the best sign in the stands in Game 7 was, and I think the Boston Red Sox, they did it when the Red Sox finally broke the curse, now I can die in peace.
Yeah.
I think when you're a fan of a team that's never won it all, that's
I
kind of how
know.
you feel. So now the Bills are out of it, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really have a team left that I'm
Yeah.
really.
I don't. I honestly don't. So we have the Patriots at Denver
That's
on
that's the
Sunday,
three. That's the 3 o'clock game on Sunday.
and then we have the Rams at Seattle Seahawks 6:30 on Sunday.
Correct. That's
I
it.
guess, and I'm going purely on what I see on social media because I don't follow these teams. I don't know a ton of players on the teams. I guess I'm rooting for the Patriots. I know they've won so many times, but their quarterback Drake, he seems like a good guy. His wife, like they're getting interviewed and stuff. So I feel like I've seen them. So I'm like, okay, I know who the quarterback is. Like I'll root for them. The Rams at Seahawks, like who do we want here?
well, watch this. I like Matthew Stafford because before each game he goes over to the sideline. He's got 4 daughters
I know.
that are all young. Like what's the oldest? 9, 10? If
Yeah,
that,
I don't.
he's got these 4 adorable daughters. They're one's cuter than the next, and he gives them all a hug and a kiss before the game. You know me, I'm a sap for stories
Yeah,
like that. I don't. Here's how I said to your mother: I don't have any team I'm rooting for, and I don't have any team I'm really rooting against.
sometimes that's the best because you can't be disappointed.
And whatever happens, I won't be, oh, why did that happen? Or I
Right.
won't be celebrating. I'll just accept it.
Yeah.
You know,
I would have
um,
liked Chicago to win. I was
yeah,
rooting.
it's funny. I really wasn't rooting for Chicago, but as the game went on, I said, hey, these fans, they won the Super Bowl in 1985 with that great Bears defense. They've gone 40 years. Like, they're
That
free.
pass on the
Right.
fourth down. Oh, that'll go down in history.
And I think you and I discussed this before we started recording. I think it was Troy Aikman was doing the game. I think it was Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I'm pretty sure, right? Did that game? I think.
Oh, I don't. You would know better than
Man,
that.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was Collinsworth. Well, somebody said I've been involved in football all my life. I've never seen anything like
It
that.
was it that was kind of like yes, but it was kind of at chance. Like he
Oh
didn't
yeah.
have he was getting tackled and he kind of just like prayed for the best.
And that was game over. That was
I
like
know.
you said, it was fourth down.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams just throws it up, and all there's Cole Komet, and I don't know. Well, anyway, so we will know this Sunday who's playing in the Super Bowl. Then we have 2 weeks off before the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and really, this coming Sunday. Honestly, if you're a football fan, this is the last good football day because the Super Bowl is not a game; it's an event.
Yeah.
This is the
Well,
last day where you get back-to-back games. So one's over, you have time maybe to grab something to eat or go to the bathroom and then you sit for the other one. We don't get that anymore after this week.
yeah.
So, but I do want to just throw in very excited about what the Giants did. And
Oh yeah. We were
you know,
talking about it a bit. We saw each other this past weekend and
yeah.
it sounded like a good move for them.
Yeah, listen, he's not an offensive coach. He's not a defensive coach. He's an organizer. He's the CEO. He demands respect. He's earned respect. There's no question who the boss is. Yeah, he can do it my way or the highway. Jim Harbaugh's been around, was 18 years with Baltimore, had a lot of success. You really hear a lot of good things about him. And I just think like it's an organizational thing. He now has to hire the best coaches,
Yeah.
which hopefully he'll do. It'll probably take a few days, but that'll work itself out. And I really do believe the Giants are setting themselves on a good course to maybe turn things around because it's been 10, 15 years of just, I mean, like we said, New York football fans
Oh,
these past couple of years have just like they haven't gotten a break. Like they have
no.
nothing to root for. You
They've been
know,
through it. They've been
they've
through
been
it.
through
Well,
it.
we'll see.
So
Hopefully,
hopefully,
we can get a little something more than a couple wins, something to actually be excited about.
and hopefully next season, instead of the season being over in October, which is
Yeah.
basically what it was this year, we can get into December or January. So but that's pretty cool, and I'm very very excited about the Sunday games again with no rooting interest, just to watch two good football games.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'll be home so we can watch together.
We're going to
Yeah.
watch together, which really doesn't happen. So, before we go on to our next topic, the Crabs Claw had their big event this past weekend, the St. Patrick's Day fundraiser. I did not go on Sunday. More than anything, honestly, I just really wanted to be home and watch football. Didn't want to go out of the house. I saw a lot of pictures on Facebook. Talked to a couple people, had an absolute blast. But in addition to all the things we talk about with the Crab's Claw Inn in Lavalette, our longtime sponsor, of course, if you like to go somewhere to watch, now you can't call it, by the way, when it comes to that game on February 8th, when you do a commercial, you can't say what the game is. You have to call it the big game. You're not allowed to say those two words that are associated with what the game is. But they're going to have a big game party. What's
Okay.
that? What?
We'll have to line about that. Okay.
Yeah. They're going to have a big game party. They're going to have giveaways, complimentary pass around food during the game, happy hour prices. So if you're one of those, and especially because you don't have maybe a rooting interest in the game, if you just want to watch a good game and you want to go somewhere and be with people, well, you can definitely go to the Crab's Claw Inn for the big game party on Sunday, February 8th. Of course, the following weekend is Valentine's. Valentine's Day is on Saturday, which I know restaurant people don't like because they like it when it's like a Tuesday because they get a night that wouldn't be a bad busy night. But it's really going to be Valentine's weekend, right? They're going to get Friday is going to be busy. Saturday will be busy. Sunday will be busy. Monday's a holiday, right? Is it Monday President's Day?
President's Day.
Yeah. So, so you got Valentine's weekend. At the end of February, they have what I think is one of their best events of the year, and that is the Island Party. It's kind of takeoff on the whole Hawaiian theme, with leis and all that kind of stuff and that kind of reggae music, and it's a huge fun thing. And then, of course, you have coming up on February 28th, the Polar Bear Plunge in nearby Seaside Heights, and a lot of people go back to the Crab's Claw after that. So what I'm trying to tell you is a lot of events going on to kind of kill the winter. We want to get through the winter. Of course, they have bingo every Wednesday, karaoke on Thursday, live entertainment Friday and Saturday. And for all their special events, you can go on thecrabsclaw.com. Check them out. Okay, so this one is I'm throwing this one in your lap because you brought it up to me and I wasn't really familiar with it, which is not shocking. And you said, hey, do you know about social media trends? And what I would normally say is a social media trend is I can't figure the goddamn thing out. But I don't think you meant that.
No. I meant, okay. So, for example, when I'm with you and I make you do those TikToks,
Yes.
those are like trends. So, someone thought of this dance or this funny video to make, and it just so happened to go viral. And a lot of people decided to start to get in on it and whatnot. So, the most recent one I've seen is posting photos from 2016. So we're in 2026. Everyone now is posting photos from 2016, but it's not like this is something I've seen every year where last year it was let's post photos from 2015 and et cetera, et cetera. So I honestly don't know who the first person was to do this and how it took off, but it has completely infiltrated my social media feed. And now it's even breaking into like the news cycle where brands are cashing in on it. So maybe like old labels of 2016 of their brand or kind of funny things that kind of like tack on to like a cultural moment that everyone is talking about and posting about. And it's insane. And I know I did not post photos of me from 2016. I think I sent you guys a few and I was horrified. I was 2 years out of college and it was very obvious in my social media. So it was fun to like send it back and forth to friends, but the amount of people that have posted photos of themselves from 2016, it's insane.
Yeah, I actually saw it today for the first time on a school like alumni page. And
Okay.
somebody said, put it up. And honestly, I didn't know that's where you were going because I'm really not familiar with it. Like, it's really foreign to me. When you started describing it, I was thinking of that whole 6-7 thing. That would be a social media trend,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
You're just,
kind of like, oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, you were just talking about one that's really hot right now. 6-7 is already old. That's out.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Like it is crazy how like I bet you by it was huge last week, so I bet you by this week, let's see. I don't think many people will be doing it because it'll be old news and they'll be like the next new thing, but it really is like these trends that like people latch onto. Like for me, what I can think about like when Instagram first became a thing when I was still in college was like Throwback Thursday. So like every Thursday someone would post like an old photo or like Flashback Friday and that was a thing that like you did every single week. That has now died. That's not a thing, but it's kind of just like how do you keep up when there's always something next? And I think that's what a lot of like the influencers or like content creators I follow like that's what they latch onto are these trends and them putting their own spin on it or whatnot.
Do you think all these trends actually started with one person one time? Like something that was posted that
No,
just,
I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. I think it had to have been obviously someone of influence to do it. It's not like I'm doing it. I'm telling my friends, like, let's make this go viral. I mean, you never know. But I think maybe it's someone with some cachet or just a bunch of people doing it at once. But um, it's crazy. And I will say, like, even like food trends or like I follow people like my algorithm and it's like go to Starbucks and order this like off menu item, like this is trending right now or whatever it may be. The one I've seen most recently is what they're calling the pregnancy sandwich from Jersey Mike's. Um, and that is all over my feed. And like a lot of influencers I follow have gone and ordered it. And essentially, when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to be eating like deli meat. So it's essentially a BLT from Jersey Mike's, but people add,
oh, excuse me.
bless you. But people add like banana peppers, pickles, things like that. And now it's like, can I have the pregnancy sandwich from Jersey Mike's? And like, that's what it is. And then people I follow that aren't pregnant will add like turkey to it or something. But like, it's just something like that, that a menu, it's not, I don't, it's just insane what social media can do and how it can really impact brands and people in a positive way.
But unfortunately, there is a downside to that. There are some trends that are negative. We're not going to bring
Yes.
them up, but there have been some negative trends that sort of caught fire, and that's for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like for everyone has their own feelings about social media and whatnot, but I think it is fun to be able to latch onto some of these things and kind of feel like a part of the community or whatever it may be.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I'll
Again,
keep
we,
you know, I'm
yeah,
sure we're going to be doing a lot of TikToks and things on vacation. So
we're not going to talk about that yet. Um, before we go on to our next thing, again, we want to thank the Causeway family of dealerships in Manahawk, and they are our presenting sponsor, the Wintrode family, Joe Straffolino. We've had friendship with them for years. They've been the charter, the sponsor for the Hometown View, which I still do on 92.7 WOBM every Friday. They've been my exclusive sponsor now for going on a decade. They're great people, great family, and most importantly, and we don't just say, they have great vehicles. They have great dealerships. There's a Ford Lincoln dealership. There's Hyundai. There's Honda. There's Nissan. They have terrific people. A lot of people have been there a long time because they're part of that whole community. I mean, Causeway goes back more than 50 years. So please, if you're in the market for any of their vehicles or used cars, please at least consider them. Give them a holler, give them a look. You can always go on causewaycars.com and see what's going on with them. All right, so you brought something up before we were talking about, and I think January is the perfect month for this, and that is we could all, or at least most of us, could probably learn to use a little more patience in our daily lives.
I agree. So I brought this up because I was out running errands and I wanted to stop and get a coffee, and this new like cafe bakery opened in my neighborhood. It's a chain. There's a lot of them. I love it. And I walked in, and yes, I'm talking about this was Martin Luther King Day, so a lot of people are off, and it was crowded. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna grab a coffee to go. Waited a little while to order. They only had one person at the register. I finally order, and I want to say, like, no exaggeration, I waited like 20 minutes for a latte, and I saw there was like one barista. This isn't just including like they're getting online orders and app orders and whatnot. And I felt myself starting to get like a little agitated, and like the girl next to me, she was waiting even longer, and she kind of said something, and I wanted to say like, hi, like checking in for Alex, but I like looked around and I'm like, this poor one barista is swamped right now. She is doing the best that she can to make these drinks as like quickly as possible. I'm not really in a hurry to go anywhere. So I did it, and she was deeply apologetic, and she was like, I'm sorry about that. And I just had to realize, like, no worries, you're busy, you guys just opened. But I think like in a city like New York, especially on a work day in the morning, people are always in a hurry.
Yeah.
And they're wanting something immediately. Like, we're in an age where you can get anything delivered to you or whatnot, and you want that instant, you need something right away, that we're always on to the next, and we're always like, okay, like I've been waiting 2 minutes, how do you not have my drink right now, or whatever it may be. That I think it's really important to take a step back and realize the person on the other end is likely doing everything they can to deliver great customer service, and just being able to take a beat. And I think if you go to other places in the US, even down south, where people move a little bit slower, I know we've been on vacations and I'm like, oh my God, like what is taking so long? Take our order. But it's just a different way of life. And then you go to Europe and they don't even, you have to ask for your bill. Like they will not bother you. They want you to enjoy your dining experience. And you really, like, I think we take some things like for granted of being able to like sometimes move so quickly, that starting a new year, I think it's always good to just take a step back and be a little bit more patient.
Generally speaking, I think those of us who live in the Northeast are the most impatient people.
Drivers, like
Yeah.
like it's everyone is going where they have the most important place to be.
Where I can really use a dose of patience, I am more patient with people like you described because I feel bad for the person. I don't have patience for other people like me. And my quintessential example is drive-throughs. Whether it's a Dunkin' Donuts, the McDonald's, a Star, it doesn't matter, okay? I don't understand when you're waiting in line and you finally get one car away from the window, when the person in front of you, you can hear on the speaker say, welcome to Dunkin' Donuts. Can I help you? Give me a minute. When they say give me a minute, I want to go out of the car and go up and I want to grab them around the neck. Okay? What do you mean give me a minute? First of all, you've been in line for 10 minutes. All right? The Dunkin' Donuts menu hasn't changed. It's the same menu the last time you were there. I can tell you what's there. What are you waiting a minute for? And then if they happen to have someone in the car with them and they do this, we'd like a dozen donuts. Okay. Give me one chocolate, one jelly, How many is that so far? That's
Yeah.
where I admit, and why I should have patience is where am I going?
Right.
I'm semi-retired until somebody hires me.
Yeah.
I don't have a job. I could sit in the drive-through for an hour, and it would just kill an hour off the day.
Right.
So I can definitely do a better job with that. There's no doubt about it. Now that you brought it up with me today, I'm going to try that. I'm going to
I
try that
think
for the new
there
year.
are there are certain places where I think it's like a little rude where people aren't more mindful of times. My number one is a doctor's office.
Oh,
I really try to book the first morning appointment to know that no one
me
is in
too.
front of me. And I know things get backed up, things happen, but there's sometimes where I need to book an afternoon doctor's appointment on a Wednesday and I skip out of work for a little bit and I'm there in the waiting room for an hour and I'm like I can't do this. Like how much longer? And then you go into the room and you're waiting for another 30 minutes. Like that bothers me so much that like I'd rather you call and be like, "Hey, we're running behind." Like you don't get like a courtesy. Like, "Hey, we're actually an hour behind. Do you want to reschedule?" Like
Yeah.
and listen, I can only imagine healthcare workers are some of the best people. So, it's nothing to them. That's where I sometimes feel like I'm getting the most like agitated.
I get anxiety when I watch that TV show we both love, The Pit,
Oh
and
my
they show the waiting room in the ER, and
oh my
I
god.
look at those people and I feel bad for them, and they don't even exist really. All right, one of these weeks we're going to do our pet peeves, and we can
Okay.
expound on that. But for
Okay.
now, we're going to close the show with a feature we do every week, and that is called Kevin Can't Even, in which you at times make me look like an ass. So here we go.
That's never the intention. I just want
Yeah.
you to know that. Like, I'm never meant to make you look like an ass. It's meant to, like, give us some chuckles, but also teach you a little something about pop culture.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, right before this, my good friend Kaylee was over, and I was asking her, I'm like, anything I can bring up, like, just give me some questions. So, we were brainstorming a little bit. So, I like these this week. They're
Okay.
very timely, like, they're very relevant to things happening this past week in pop culture. So the first one, and I know we've talked about this, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have a new movie out. They've been doing a press tour, making their rounds on the morning and late night shows. They actually have they've been friends since they were like 12 years old, grew up in Boston together. Can you name three movies that they have been in together?
Oh, again, this is because at my advanced stage. Well, The Town is definitely one.
No,
Oh
was
no, that they weren't both in it.
Matt
I'm
Damon
sorry.
wasn't in that.
Matt Damon wasn't in it.
I'll give you a pass. So which new one just came out that
Well,
you
the new
watched?
one is The Rip, which is
Okay.
on. I think it's Netflix. Your mother and I watched it the other night. It's good. It's not great. It's good.
Okay.
If you have nothing to watch one night, it's worth it. But I wouldn't make plans to go ahead and watch it.
Give me two
Uh,
more.
why am I having trouble
I
with
mean,
this? I,
what's the most obvious one? Dad.
I'm just having a block.
Robin Williams?
Oh, oh, no, he wasn't. They weren't in Dead Poets. Again, I'm having a
Dad,
block.
Good Will Hunting.
Well, Goodwill Hunting. That's right. Yeah, that was the first one. I think that was their first big one together.
If you can't get that, then you're not going to get any.
I'm just having trouble.
Some other ones were Air, The Nike Story, Field
Yeah.
of Dreams,
Oh,
um, Jersey Girl, they were actually both in together. Quite a few, actually, that you might not think automatically, but I can't believe, I mean, Good Will Hunting's one of my favorite movies.
yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay, well, that was a bust for you.
That was a bust for me. Yeah.
Do you also, part two of that, do you know who Lisa Barlow is?
I don't.
Okay, so she's a real housewife of Salt Lake City. She's actually iconic, but there was a whole thing where she ditched on a girls' trip earlier on in the season. And when they were like, why aren't you coming? She's like, I have things to do. I have to go to an event with Ben Affleck. So when they just were doing the press tour, one of the editors and journalists asked Ben Affleck if he knew who Lisa Barlow was. And he had no idea. And they brought up a photo of them together. He's like, never seen her in my life. It's like iconic that now it's going around because that was like she was like so adamant on missing this event or missing this girl trip so she could go meet Ben Affleck.
That's funny.
Okay. Weekend update with Colin Jost on SNL. One of the questions that came up was Scarlett Johansson, his wife,
Yep.
just got surpassed as the highest grossing star of all time, which is crazy that she was the highest grossing star. Like I would not think that. Who just beat her? It was in the news quite a bit. So
Wasn't Zendaya, was it?
no,
Wait,
but
hold on.
same letter for the first name.
Yeah, I know it is
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana.
Which
Yes.
is also like if you think of the highest grossing a star of all, like I can't name something that Scarlett Johansson has recently been in.
Yeah. Well, Zoe has been in those couple of those Marvel movies, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really what put her over the top. Yeah.
And I think Scarlett Johansson was in a few of those, but
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. He then brought up, he's like, "What if we add in their husband's salary to help like bring up Scarlett Johansson's like decrease of like based on the movies that Colin Jost has been in that have like flopped." So I thought that was funny. And then last one, big news last week. Harry Styles just released his fourth studio album.
Yeah.
Can you name two songs by Harry Styles?
I can't name anything by Harry Styles. I can't even look at him.
What? Do
I
you know
just,
who Harry Styles is?
yes, I do. He does nothing for me. I just think he's a
Oh,
little
I
twerp.
love him.
He's a little twerp.
I am so excited for this album. It's gonna be more disco, which I think is interesting. But he's dating Zoe Kravitz.
That I know. Yes.
Yes.
I know
And I
that.
think he started putting up again, not like a trend, but like he started putting up posters in the major cities that people were starting to speculate, and then he dropped his album
Yeah, he hasn't done anything, what, in like 4 years? Is it
in
4
a
years?
while. But I think
Yeah.
he's going to be doing a crazy residency at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, really?
So I'm
I'm
going to
sure
try.
you, I'm gonna sure you're gonna try and go, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, this was not a good week for me, and Kevin
it was
can't
not.
even.
It was
No.
not.
All right, I'll do better next week.
Yeah. We'll be together next week.
And we have a really special guest next week.
Don't tease it yet, but yes, you can say that.
No, we'll wait until we do our preview, only because if something happens,
Yes,
but
agreed. That's fine.
we're kind of excited about who we're going to talk to next week.
Yeah.
And that's it. As always, we thank our friend Steve Meyer from Shore Sports Insider for his help. One of the ways you can watch this each week is just go on shoresportsinsider.com and you'll click on podcast and you'll see it right there. And of course, in addition to all the other ways, YouTube, Spotify, what am I missing? Apple, where you would watch your favorite podcasts. Tell your friends we're free. And we'll be back next week. Again, also thanks to our presenting sponsor, the Causeway family of dealerships in Manahawkin, and our friends at the Crab's Claw Inn in Lavalette. Great place to go on these cold winter days, that's for sure. And until next week, we hope you have a great week. When we do come back next week, we can talk about who's going to play in the big game.
Yes, we can.
We can actually call it Super Bowl when we're talking about from a content standpoint.
Okay.
You can't say Super Bowl if it's any commercial part of it. That's where you can't do it. So,
Okay, that
all
makes
right.
sense.
But until then, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Stay warm, man. I know it's cold outside. Stay warm. Better days are coming. We're gaining over a minute of sunlight every day. So we have really turned the corner. Things are getting better. For my daughter, who is Alex Williams over there, I'm Kevin Williams over here. We hope to see you next week, and thank you for watching and listening to the Dad and Daughter Download.
See you later.
Bye.